Hi everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. I do my best to keep you informed. The ISU and U.S. figure skating have just made some big updates for the 2022 to 2023 season, which is already underway. In fact, the changes we're discussing now went into effect on July 1st. U.S. figure skating does have a very helpful rules update that pulls many of the changes together. There's a link to it in the description down below. But like many things in figure skating, changes can be really confusing. And there are a whole lot of changes for this year. Hopefully, I'll be able to help you by explaining a lot of them. All the updates I'm discussing in this video are in effect right now and throughout the 2022-2023 season. Just a quick reminder, I am a PSA ranked and rated coach to competitive and testing figure skaters. My interest in these changes is from that standpoint. I'm spreading the word just as I do with my skaters and their parents. I'm not an official spokesperson for U.S. figure skating, the ISU, or PSA. And I'm not part of any committees or groups that put forth these changes. So if you have a specific question about anything I'm covering today, ask your coach or reach out to U.S. figure skating. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. In my last rule change video, I talked about changes to tests, names, and how they're decoupled from competition levels. Those changes to tests do not go into effect until next season, July 2023, and are not in play for this season. That said, there are changes to singles free skate tests that are in effect for this season. Minimum scores are needed to achieve test credit from a non-qualifying competition, IJS protocol. Here are the minimum scores required. As required in Rule 4202, the candidate must achieve at least the minimum in all these scores. Each executed element must have a panel score greater than 0.00, and there must not be more than 2 falls in a singles free skate. The total number of falls will be determined by checking the fall deduction value on the IJS protocol. I talked a little bit about this in my first rule change video. There's a link to that video in the description down below in case you missed it. Registration for the NQS opened on July 1st at 12 p.m. Eastern Time in EMS. This is for singles, pairs, and ice dance at the juvenile through senior levels. The NQS is a series of competitions hosted individually by member clubs nationwide in which athletes enter and earn a score. Suppose you're at those levels and you register for the NQS. You will earn a placement in the individual competition that you enter, an overall ranking in your level, and a regional and sectional ranking. Beginning with this season, U.S. figure skating is consolidating the standalone October qualifying competitions, regionals for singles and sectionals for pairs and ice dance, into the national qualifying series, which takes place from mid-July to late September. This allows you to advance to the November final sectional singles, U.S. pairs, and ice dance finals. These events will culminate in the 2023 Toyota U.S. Figure Skating Championships and National High Performance Camp in January of 2023. To complete an NQS registration, you must have a current 2022 to 2023 season membership. Your membership must be fully processed with your home club and U.S. figure skating. This can take some time, so make sure that you do that right away. And then log into U.S. figure skating and check your account if you plan to register for the NQS. You must complete your registration before the first day of the preferred NQS event. Next, confirm your competitive level. Make sure you meet the age and test eligibility requirements. Note that you are permitted to skate up 1 level in NQS. You have through the conclusion of the series to meet your test requirements. Then you register for the NQS via the series application. Then you register for the NQS competition via EMS. Note, you must register for both the series and the individual competition. For all the details, see the NQS Athlete Handbook, and if you have any questions, email events@usfigureskating.org. Let's move on to the IJS clarifications approved at the ISU Congress. There is a lot to unpack here. First, let's talk about the age limits for the single level in international competition. This season, 2022 to 2023, in international senior competitions, only skaters may compete who have reached at least the age of 15 before July 1st. For next season, that's the 2023 to 24 season, in international senior competitions, only skaters who have reached at least the age of 16 before July 1st may compete. And from the 2024 to 2025 season onwards, in international senior competitions, only skaters may compete who have reached at least the age of 17 before July 1st. Now, let's move on to the IJS clarifications. The ISU has made some changes to jumps. A jump combination and a jump sequence may consist of the same or another single, double, triple, or quad jump. A jump sequence consists of 2 or 3 jumps of any number of revolutions, where the second and or third jump is an axel type jump, with a direct step from the landing curve of the first or second jump into the takeoff curve of the axel jump. 1 complete revolution on the ice between the jumps. Your free foot can touch down on the ice, but without weight transfer, keeps the element in the frame of a definition of a jump sequence. Jumps executed in a jump sequence receive full value. Jump combinations and jump sequences are evaluated as one unit by adding the base values of the jumps included and applying the GOE with the numerical value of the most difficult jump. A single Euler in between 2 listed jumps, missing a half rotation or more, will be downgraded. The judges will apply the reduction for a downgraded jump. Suppose the single Euler is missing less than a half revolution. In that case, it will not be considered as under-rotated or as landed on the quarter. What if your single Euler is not clearly jumped or executed as a step over? In that case, the judges will apply a reduction in the GOE. In the short program, the final GOE must be -5 if the jump element is not according to the requirements. This means, for example, that the jump element has the wrong number of revolutions, the jump is repeated, or the jump combination has the sign plus combo. A flip is taken off from a back inside edge. A Lutz is taken off from the back outside edge. The tech panel decides on the takeoff edge and indicates errors with the sign of E and attention or exclamation point. With serious errors, the sign of E, the base value of the jump and the GOE will be reduced. In cases of more minor errors, the attention sign, the original base value stays the same and the GOE is reduced. Changes of edge between jump combinations. The reduction in GOE is -1 to -2. A poor takeoff, such as a toe-assisted jump that is taken off from the entire blade, or a toe loop executed like a toe axle, or maybe there's excessive rotation on the ice at the takeoff, what we call pre-rotation. The reduction in GOE is -1 to -3. A touchdown of your free foot in between jumps requires a reduction in GOE of -1 to -2. Let's move on to step sequences. For junior men's and women's well-balanced free skate and the junior free skate test, the step sequence has been replaced with a choreographic sequence, but the step sequence remains required for the junior men's and women's short programs. Remember, your short program is your technical program. A step sequence is always a relatively long segment with multiple difficult turns and steps. Difficult turns and steps include twizzles, brackets, loops, counters, rockers, and choctaws that are executed on clean edges. 3 turns and mohawks are not counted as difficult. The minimum variety is a level 1. Simple variety is a level 2. Variety is a level 3, and complexity is a level 4. Rotations in either direction, left and right, with full body rotation covering at least 1/3 of the pattern in total for each rotational direction. Use of body movements for at least 1/3 of the pattern. 2 combinations of 3 difficult turns on different feet are to be executed with continuous flow within the sequence. Only 1 difficult turn may be repeated in the 2 combinations. That's new, by the way. Only the first combination attempted on each foot can be counted. Here's an example from the ISU of correct combinations. First combination, bracket, counter, loop. Second combination, rocker, counter, twizzle. In this example, only the counter is repeated, an example of an incorrect combination of turns from the ISU. First combination, rocker, counter, twizzle. Second combination, bracket, counter, twizzle. In this example, 2 different turns are repeated, the counter and the twizzle, and the loop is not used. To establish the starting GOE, judges are required to consider deep edges, clean steps and turns, control of the whole body. The last one is new, by the way. The element matches the music, effortless throughout with good energy, flow, and execution. Creativity and/or originality, good ice coverage, or an interesting pattern. That's also new. Good acceleration and deceleration. You must meet the criteria of 1 bullet for level 1, 2 bullets for level 2, 3 bullets for level 3, but for a +4 and a +5, the first 3 bullets must be present first, and then additional bullets. No specific pattern is required. Competitors have complete freedom in selecting the kind of step sequence. Still, a step sequence should use the entire ice surface. Step sequences that are too short and barely visible cannot be considered to meet these requirements. New for this season is that any unlisted jumps of any number of revolutions and listed jumps with a maximum of 1 revolution can be included in your step sequence without any penalties. Listed jumps of not more than 1 revolution included in the sequence will not be called and will not occupy a box. Listed jumps with more than 1 revolution can also be included in the step sequence. They will be called and they will occupy a box. However, in the short program, listed jumps of more than 1 revolution require a -1 deduction. You can also receive a -1 to -3 if your pattern is too small. You can usually tell a step sequence apart from a choreo sequence by comparing the complexity of the movement. Choreographic sequences consist of at least 2 different movements. That's new. Spirals, arabesques, spread eagles, Ina Bowers, hydroblading, and any jumps with a maximum of 2 revolutions. Spins, etc. Steps and turns may link the 2 or more different movements together. That's also new. A step sequence is more technical than a choreographic sequence. So this change makes sense. The criteria levels for choreographic sequences are creativity and/or originality. Element matches the music and reflects the concept or character of the program. Effortless throughout with good energy, flow, and execution. Good ice coverage or an interesting pattern, good clarity and precision, excellent commitment and control of the whole body. Just like with step sequences, to receive a +4 or +5, you must meet the criteria for 1, 2, and 3 first, and then the additional bullets. The movement should reflect and support the composition of the program. There should be no gaps between your movement. Everything should be threaded together so there's no lack of connection. Okay, let's look at spins. To receive a level 4 in any spin, one of these features must be counted. Difficult change of position on the same foot. Difficult exit. A clear change of edge. Both directions immediately follow each other in a sit or camel spin. A clear increase of speed. Difficult variation of flying entry. Difficult entrance and difficult exit are now 2 different features. To get credit for both features, they must be executed in 2 different spins, and the movements must be of a different nature. The exit out of a spin is defined as the last phase of the spin and includes the phase immediately following the spin. A difficult exit is any movement or jump that makes an exit, significantly more difficult. The exit must significantly impact the balance, control, and execution of the spin. A windmill or illusion is considered a difficult movement only if it reaches close to a split position. It can be awarded as a feature for spins only once in a program. The three basic positions on the second foot feature is no longer a level feature. A clear increase of speed is counted in camel, sit, layback, Bielman, or difficult variations of an upright position, except in a crossfoot or scratch spin. If you have questions about difficult variations when it comes to spins, I do have a whole video about that. Granted, it was made before these changes, but it will really help you. There's a link to that in the description down below. There is also a change in how falls can affect your spin value. If the skater falls when entering a spin or in any failed spin, a spin or spinning movement is allowed immediately after this fall for time-filling purpose, with this spin or movement not being counted as an element. Suppose a change of foot is poorly executed, including the curve of entry or exit, except when changing direction. In that case, you will receive a -2 to -3. There's a special note on camels. If your free leg drops down for a long time while preparing for a difficult camel variation, the judges will apply the GOE reduction for poor, awkward, unesthetic positions. Difficult entrance and or difficult exit are part of the spin and impact the GOE of the element. Okay, let's move on to components, because this is pretty huge. The ISU and U.S. figure skating will now only use 3 components for all IJS events, except for solo dance and the 2022 National Excel Final and Festival, which will continue to follow their respective series handbooks for the 2022 season through the conclusion of their events. The skater, pair, couple's whole performance is now evaluated by 3 program components: composition, presentation, and skating skills. For pair skating and ice dance, there must be an equal demonstration of the criteria by both skaters. I've done previous videos on the components. Now the definitions are slightly different. Let's take a moment to go through them. Composition is the intentional, developed, and original arrangement of the repertoire of all types of movements into a meaningful whole according to the principles of proportion, unity, and space, pattern, and musical structure. In evaluating the composition, the following is to be considered: unity, connections between and within elements, pattern and ice coverage, multi-dimensional movement and use of space, choreography reflecting the musical phrase and form. Presentation is the demonstration of engagement, commitment, and involvement based on an understanding of the music and composition. In evaluating the presentation, the following are considered: expressiveness and projection, variety and contrast of energy and movement, musical sensitivity and timing, unison and oneness and awareness of space for pairs and ice dance. Skating skills. This is the ability of the skater to execute the skating repertoire of steps, turns, and skating movements with the blade and body control. In evaluating the skating skills, the following is considered: variety of edges, steps, turns, movements, and directions, clarity of edges, steps, turns, and movements, and body control, balance and glide, flow, power and speed. Errors must be reflected in the mark. The consequence depends on the severity and impact on the fluidity and continuity of the program. If a program contains 1 serious error, the maximum score for each program component is 9.5. If a program contains 2 or more serious errors, the maximum score for each program component is 8.75. Similar limitations must be applied to all levels of skaters, from extremely poor to outstanding. When there's only 1 error, and this error minimally impacts the program, a maximum score of 9.5 is possible. But, and this is a big but, the whole program is still deemed excellent when there are 2 or more errors, and these errors only minimally impact the program. The maximum score of 8.75 is possible. Okay, let's get into the domestic calling clarifications. Let's start with fall deductions. At the junior level in singles, the deduction for every fall is 1.0. At preliminary, pre-juvenile, juvenile, intermediate, and novice in singles, the deduction for every fall is 0.5. At no test and pre-preliminary levels, the deduction for every fall is 0.25. Now let's move on to the jumps. Juvenile, intermediate, novice, and junior, short program and free skate. Jumps, including rotational and edge errors, will be assessed per ISU Communication 2474 and 2475. In the short program, jumps that do not satisfy the requirements, wrong number of revolutions, will have no value. In the free skate, if according to the jump repeat rules for specific levels, when 2 executions of a jump are permitted and one of those must be in combination or a sequence. If both are executed as solo jumps, the second one performed will be marked with the sign of plus REP. Jump clarifications and bonuses. To be eligible for bonus points, jumps must be fully rotated or landed on the quarter and must comply with short or free skating program requirements and all repeat rules. Unless otherwise specified, jumps can be performed as a solo jump or in combination or sequence. Jumps that are downgraded, under-rotated, with edge attention, or have a wrong edge are not eligible for any bonus points. Junior short program and free skate. 1 point bonus for each triple axel. A 1 point bonus for each quadruple jump. That's in the free skate only. 1 point bonus for each jump combination with a triple jump followed by a triple jump. That's for women only. Novice short program and free skate. A 1 point bonus for each triple axel. A 1 point bonus for each jump combination with a triple jump followed by a triple jump. A 1 point bonus for a jump combination with a double axel or triple jump followed by a single jump followed by a triple jump. That's in the free skate only. 2 point additional bonus for 4 or more different triple or quad jumps. That's in the free skate only. Intermediate short program and free skate. Intermediate short program. Jumps that do not satisfy the requirements, wrong number of revolutions, will have no value. Bonuses in the intermediate short program and free skate. 1 point bonus each for 2 different triple jumps. A 1 point bonus for 1 combination with 1 double jump, followed by a triple jump. A 1 point bonus for 1 combination with a double axel or triple jump, followed by a single jump, followed by a triple jump. For juvenile, jump combinations and sequences are limited to 2 jumps, except skaters may perform 1 3-jump combination or sequence with a maximum of 2 double jumps. However, if a double axel or triple jump is part of a 3-jump combination or 3-jump sequence, then 2 other double jumps may be included. If 3 double jumps are included and a double axel is downgraded or not included, the 3rd double jump will receive no value. If a triple and 2 double jumps are included and the triple jump is downgraded, the 2nd double jump will receive no value. Bonuses. A 1 point bonus for each double axel. A 1 point bonus for 1 triple jump in the free skate only. No test, pre-preliminary, preliminary, and pre-juvenile. If according to the jump repeat rules for specific levels, when 2 executions of a jump are permitted and one of those must be in combination or sequence. If both are executed as solo jumps, the second one performed will be marked with the sign of plus rep. For no test, pre-preliminary and preliminary only, a waltz jump will receive credit. Spins. All spins in novice and junior will be assessed per ISU Communication 2474 and 2475. ISU spin criteria and any associated V will be applied. Here's a quick reference chart for spins. For intermediate short program, a camel spin with a change of foot is required for both men and women. A camel position must be achieved on both feet for a minimum of 2 revolutions. ISU short program rules apply. Short program and free skate. U.S. figure skating will continue to award 8 revolutions, once per spin, if executed in a different basic position and or in a different difficult variation. In the free skate, One spin of the athlete's choice must begin with a flying entry. For juvenile, U.S. figure skating will continue to award 8 revolutions, once per spin, if it's executed in a different basic position and or in a different difficult variation. Here's a quick reference chart on juvenile and intermediate spins. For preliminary and pre-juvenile spins, in one position, if a basic position is not achieved for 2 continuous revolutions, the spin will receive no value. 8 continuous revolutions with no change in position, edge, variation, no loss of basic position in camel, sit, layback, or Bielmann, compulsory for higher than level base. Unlike the ISU criteria, this feature does not require a basic sit position to be in a difficult variation. The 8 continuous revolutions may be performed in a difficult variation for the maximum of a level 2. If less than 8 revolutions are completed, the spin will receive a level base. Any other feature may be performed for a maximum level 2. Combination spin, a spin with only 2 basic positions achieved for 2 continuous revolutions, will be assigned a V if there are not 2 basic positions achieved for 2 continuous revolutions. The spin will receive no value. Level feature. All 3 basic positions performed anywhere within the combination spin, with each position held for at least 2 continuous revolutions, compulsory for higher than level base. A note for preliminary. This level feature may be awarded twice if both spins executed are combination spins. Any other feature may be performed for a max level 2. All spins max out at level 2. Here's a quick reference chart for preliminary and pre-juvenile spins. For no task and pre-preliminary, a spin in one position if a basic position is not achieved for 2 continuous revolutions, but there is a recognizable position attempted, such as a camel, sit, layback, upright, the spin will receive a level base. For a level feature, 8 continuous revolutions with no change in position, edge, or variation, no loss of basic position in camel, sit, layback, or Bielmann, compulsory for higher than a level base. Again, unlike the ISU criteria for this feature, it does not require a basic sit position to be in a difficult variation. For combination spin, if there are not 2 basic positions achieved for 2 continuous revolutions, the spin will receive no value. For level feature, all 3 basic positions may be performed anywhere within the combination, with each position held for at least 2 continuous revolutions. All spins will max out at level 1. Any spin with less than 3 revolutions will receive no value. Here's your quick reference chart for no task and pre-preliminary. Moving on to level step sequence in intermediate short program and free skate. The step sequence can earn a maximum of a level 2, and the only features that will be evaluated for a level are feature 1, minimum variety, 5 difficult turns and steps, or simple variety, 7 difficult turns and steps. None of these can be counted more than twice. Simple variety is compulsory for a level 2. Feature number 2, rotations in either direction, right and left, with full body rotation, covering at least 1/3 of the pattern in total for each rotational direction. Here's a chart that can help you. Excel events as of July 1st, 2022 through August 31st, 2022. All Excel competitions will continue to use the 2021 to 2022 Excel program elements and follow the 2021 to 2022 Excel Technical Information Handbook, with the following exceptions. Spin criteria from ISU Communication 2474 will be applied by the technical panel to determine spin level. Rotational and edge errors and any associated V and base values will be applied as per ISU Communication 2474 and 2475. Step sequence criteria from ISU Communication 2474 will be applied by the technical panel to determine the level. The definition of a jump sequence and the value of the sequence will be applied as per ISU Communication 2474. Please note, this does not apply to the 2022 Excel National Final and Festival. The 2022 Excel National Final and Festival will be held using the 2021 to 2022 Excel Technical Information Handbook. The event will be judged and levels will be assigned in the same manner as throughout the 2022 Excel series, utilizing ISU Communication 2324. If you would like more information about the Excel program, I have a whole video on that, and there's a link to that in the description down below. As long as this video this is really just a summary of the changes for this season. It's your responsibility to familiarize yourself with rule changes. The best place to go is the rule book, which was updated and published this past week. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone else you think it could help. Just post it on your social media too. I post videos every week that can help you with your figure skating, your fitness, your nutrition, and ultimately live a better life. So remember to subscribe and ring that bell so that you never miss a video. This is Amy. Happy skating. I will see you real soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.